Hey friends, thanks for joining us today. We are attempting throughout this season to have some conversations that offer insight and wisdom to help us navigate the COVID crisis, to learn about interesting people in our community that we might not get to know otherwise. And today, I get to hang out with a 2020 will be graduating senior in a whole new world, right? What does graduation look like in this season? And I'm really hoping that we can build some empathy and learn from our young people the unique experience that they're having as they navigate the situation as high school students moving into college and the workforce. So I'm here with Andrew Vogt, and I'm grateful for you being here today, man. Thanks for hanging out and sitting down.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
As Rusty obviously said, my name's Andrew Vogt. I'm a senior at the Upper Valley Career Center, studying pre-engineering design technologies. I'm a 2020 graduate. Well, will be soon.
Yeah.
Crazy kid. I'm all over the place. Just love to have a good time.
Yeah. When did you get connected here at Gainesburg? Do you remember?
September of 2018
Okay.
is the first time I stepped place in Gainesburg Church.
You remember that pretty clearly. Was there something going on in your journey that brought you here, you and your family? I know your whole family is kind of connected here.
Yeah, my family is very close. Love them all dearly. My mom actually, at the time, we were just going through some stuff, and she asked me to come with her, and stepped right in and fell in love. So I'm here today.
That's awesome. I love looking back at like our baptism B-roll for like the last year or so. You got connected with hospitality and the baptism ministry. I think it was like you saw people like going under the water and needing help getting up out of the water, and you're like a big dude, so you're like, I don't know, I'm just making this story up. I'm gonna go help.
Yeah.
And that's the story I wrote. But either way, you're hanging out at the pool all the time in our baptism videos. So.
Yeah, I love doing that. Just seeing people take a step and change.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid of change, but sometimes it's good for us.
Yeah.
So to make that step forward into the Lord and let Him watch over you and walk with you is definitely something that's life-changing. So
that's awesome.
Love to be a part of that for people.
Yeah, and then I remember distinctly a Sunday after church, we just chatted for a little bit, and it felt like a genuine, authentic conversation. You shared, I shared. I think we ended up praying together that day, and it was really cool. So I've appreciated you a whole bunch. Like I said, you got connected with the baptism stuff, and you've been serving on the hospitality team and all those kind of things before our physical locations have kind of been shut down for a season. It was good to reconnect with you. And I really wanted to sit down with you today and just learn from a graduating senior, how you're journeying through this season. So that is true. You're senior, you're graduating, except the graduation ceremony, all of that stuff. I think when we lined up this conversation, you had literally just learned that everything was canceled. So what are you and your friends thinking and feeling right now?
Some of us are kind of, we don't want to say disappointed, but you go through 4 years of high school, and you look forward to walking across that stage and being loud with all your buddies at graduation parties and stuff like that. And that kind of got taken away from us, especially with this social distancing and stuff. But we're all excited, we're able to start our next chapter in life, and we graduated high school. But it's just weird that we can't do it the way we've seen all of our older friends graduate and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So nothing really disappointed. We're not a lot of grieving. We're all talking, staying busy, but it's just a different way of change and a different way to look at it. So
yeah. You mentioned that folk are feeling maybe a little disappointed, but mostly excited about what's next. What is next for you in the coming season?
Next for me, this summer, I plan on helping out, working with family. As well, this upcoming fall, I will be attending Sinclair Community College in a business management major.
Okay.
After those 2 years, I plan on going into the workforce.
That's awesome. Good stuff. So you'll be hanging local for a little bit, doing some schooling, and then figuring out what's next. Do you know what, if you could name what that after school, what you would be into? Do you know what that is?
I want to, with this business management, I want to get a little background in communications. I would love to be on the radio.
Okay.
Waking up, I've always had the dream of, making somebody else happy.
Yeah.
If I can wake up and have someone that kind of didn't wake up and they can smile, that smile just makes somebody else smile and turns that little place into a positive place instead of a negative place. So that's kind of what I want to achieve, being on the radio and taking that path.
Yeah, I love that. Let's go back just a little bit to education. So I think school shut down middle of March. So kind of like the last quarter or whatever of your senior year. How has this situation impacted your current education?
Actually, with my current education, I was part of a program at the Career Center called Early Placement. So I would go to school for the 2 credits I would need, which were math and English in the morning. And then after I finished my 2 morning classes, I would go to work the rest of the day.
Okay.
So for me, I was only there for maybe 2-3 hours at max.
Okay.
And then I would go to work. There were days where I would stay back and help some of the SkillsUSA kids and stuff that are working on competitions or running for an office spot. But for me, not being able to have that classroom setting and having the teachers teach us is something that I really miss. I loved seeing the teachers and seeing my friends every day. So it didn't affect my learning in a way. I was homeschooled before for a year or 2. Okay. So I was kind of used to, I felt that comfort of, I'm able to learn at, my own pace. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Teachers only give minimum assignments. They don't want to overwhelm us with all this going on. So it's not been too much of a change, but it's been a change enough to definitely affect. Absolutely.
You mentioned SkillsUSA, and I remember when we first met, you talked a little bit about some competitions that you were a part of, leadership and all this kind of stuff. Talk a little bit about what is SkillsUSA?
SkillsUSA is a student-led organization for the students by the students. What we do is we get our students prepared for leadership in the world of work. We train them through the SkillsUSA framework, which has 3 different categories. It's got academics or technical skills grounded in academics, workplace skills, and personal skills. How we got those is we went to industry partners around the country and asked what next generations were lacking coming into the workforce, and they gave us lists and kind of skills that we should teach our students to help them prepare when they enter. So when they go to customer service or anything like that, they're not kind of approaching it in a different way, and they'll be able to talk and be able to talk to customers as well as their coworkers.
Yeah, that's cool. And you actually are the regional president.
Yes,
right?
I am one of 6 regional presidents in the state of Ohio. I'm the Southwest regional president. Love SkillsUSA. All of us regional presidents, actually, we've been talking lately, keeping post with each other as well. So it's been very nice talking to everybody again.
What does your role as president with that organization mean for you?
The role for president, to me, it's not for me. I'm doing it for everybody else. Just to show them, like, hey, I'm here for you. I don't want it, to me, being president isn't a role of power. It's a role of listen to others, be the follower. Don't try to lead all the time. And just like at regional officer training, where I got elected for it, all 6 regions are put together, 7 kids from each region, all put together in one room. You learn from each other. And that's what I want to do through my president role. A lot of stuff actually got taken away from me as a SkillsUSA local officer and regional president. I was going to go on school visits around the southwestern area to like the Apollo Career Center, Miami Valley Career Technical Center, Springfield Clark CTC, just different schools and I was going to go visit my home school and some high schools as well, just to show them that, SkillsUSA is something that I think is important. And, it definitely helped me out to break out of my box. I really didn't have a box. I'll go up and talk to anybody. Yeah. But it definitely helps. I've seen one of my best friends, his name is Austin Huddleston. He went from kind of being shy, and now he's the vice president of the 2nd region of the entire SkillsUSA. organization.
So it's really helpful in character development and that kind of stuff. And now the reason you didn't get to go on these school visits, is that because of the coronavirus crisis and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. So it really has impacted your journey in that
Definitely.
in that realm. Yeah, the Skills USA thing is a fascinating. I was never a part of a club or organization like that, and so it's fascinating, and I love it that it's making you an awesome leader, and I see that leadership coming out of you. What does leadership mean to you as a 2020 grad? What is leadership?
Leadership to me is being able to help others, but also have them help you.
Okay.
Being able to grow. In my speech, I wanted to grow on communication through all the local career centers in the Southwest region, and get us closer together and be able to go out in the community and show like, hey, yeah, we're that next generation that everybody's worried about, but we're here helping. And so leadership to me is to be one with everybody and not stand out.
Yeah. You also talked a little earlier about learning from other people and serving. It sounds like I bet those are parts of your picture of leadership as well. You are for young people. You care about your peers. I know this from our conversations, and you have a bit of a dream to start a podcast, or you mentioned earlier being on the radio.
Yeah.
Talk about that dream and why that's important to you, who you want to give a voice to.
As you mentioned, the podcast, I've wanted to start a podcast for about a year and a half now. Just kind of stuff is getting in the way, and I'm not sitting down and focusing on it. I wish I put more effort to it. The podcast name would be The Teenager Project, and what it would be for is to kind of show teenagers that some of us don't really talk about our emotions, really. We all kind of push it to the side and, push on. But this podcast would be for those teenagers that are going through stuff, family issues if they're into drugs and alcohol and they're trying to find a way out, or depression, anxiety, trouble in school. I want it to be for them someone's out there for you. They have someone. I want to be that person, or whoever listens. It could be young kids, teenagers, adults, whatever it is. Just to know, like, you're not alone. Someone out there understands, and they might not be able to reach out to that person because it might be an uncomfortable situation for them. If they hear my voice, or hear whoever, eventually, if I have a guest on, whoever they hear, and that just kind of can hopefully reset them and push them in a different path, or, just help their day just be better, is what I want to do with that podcast. And through my generation, I've had friends that suffered through a lot of things, family issues. I had a friend I played baseball with for many years, tried to commit suicide, and that kind of stuff just opens your eyes. And I want to do something to, kind of tell teenagers, young kids, young teenagers, and adults, just like, hey, us teenagers are here.
Yeah. We
might not be the best generation, but we're here, and we're willing to learn and push through it, but we also need help as well.
I love that heart, man. I love it a ton. One interesting thing that about your experience with the whole coronavirus is that I think you were in Germany.
Yeah.
When it all started. Talk a little bit about that story and how you made it back here.
So before this coronavirus, before it was major here in the U.S., I should say, we were out, and I had a plane going to a trip to Germany, part of a student exchange program.
Yeah.
Through the Career Center. And earlier this past October, I had a German exchange student over here for a week.
Yeah, I remember meeting him at church one weekend.
Tim, he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Totally different culture shock from here to over there.
Yeah.
But going over there, kind of worried about it. Wasn't too worried about it at the time. We get about through our first week, and I'm staying up because over there, like 10 a.m. or like 4 a.m. for us is about 6 p.m. here.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to watch the news and stay up on the news for us. So I'm up at 4 a.m. We get a text late one night from our advisor saying, pack your bags, keep them ready, make sure you have everything packed.
Yeah.
And I was the only one awake at the time. Everybody else was asleep. We all had the 10 students that were there. We all were in a group chat, make sure everybody was doing okay, staying busy.
Sure.
And I texted everybody. I was like, hey, Mr. Trapp sent out a text. Make sure you guys have pack your stuff and all that kind of stuff. So the first kind of 2 days, it would be that Thursday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Thursday, March 13th, like 12th or 13th.
Yeah.
When this was around.
It would have been the 11th or the 12th.
Yeah. We were kind of like, oh, what do we do now? Mm-hmm. Everybody was asking questions. Parents were worried, trying to get in contact with advisors. But parents would try to get in contact with us and ask about information, but we were just as lost as they were.
Yeah.
I was up with my advisors most of the night trying to figure out what I can do to help out. Friday came around. Thursday went on. We kind of just stayed toward schedule, kind of keep focus, stayed safe. Friday came. That day was kind of more cautious because we were trying to figure out how we were getting back home. Pushed through the day, always was prepared. If we had to leave and go get our stuff. Friday night, we got a text from our advisor explaining that we're leaving early in the morning. We got a flight from Frankfurt to, where did we fly to? Munich? Frankfurt to Munich, I think. And we were flying out from Munich to D.C. and then D.C. back to Dayton.
Okay.
So Saturday, we left Frankfurt. We left our German exchange family, cut our trip short by a week. Sad that I had to leave, but I was ready to go home through what was going on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Saturday, we traveled all day. When we landed back in D.C., we had to go through the CDC's kind of health test.
Yeah.
They checked our temperature, make sure nobody was off or anything like that. And we had a flight from D.C. to Dayton at 8 o'clock. And through that, U.S. Customs to get back in the state was packed.
Yeah.
So we missed our flight. We had to stay a night in D.C. And then that Sunday morning, we flew home about 8 o'clock and got home back at noon. And was with our family. But
so in about 4 days, you got the notice to say, hey, pack your stuff. We might be headed out soon. And then you were home by about 4 days later.
Yep.
Wow, man. Well, you experienced, that was pretty unique. A lot of us have been just hunkered down trying to figure it out here stateside, but you got to experience the whole travel component and all that good stuff. How do you, what would you say to other students who are in your situation right now, who are getting ready to press out of high school into their career, into college? What message do you have for other students, teachers, administrators that you would want to share with them today?
Teachers, administrators, thank you so much. You guys are the people that helped us push through high school. You gave us laughs, cries, hugs, whatever it was to pass us through. And to the students, you're not alone in your journey. You've got friends. Reach out. If you feel you're lost, it's going to be hard, but everybody's there. Someone's going to be there for you. And look, you're stepping up to bat for your next chapter. Try to hit a home run. That's all you got.
Love it, man. That's awesome. Well, I went and got a little gift for you that I want to give to you today. It's it'll be a gift to you personally, to the class of 2020. We're giving something to Andrew. You mentioned that you want to do a podcast, you want to get on the radio, and this is a little microphone starter kit with like a desk mic and the boom and all that good stuff. So You just have to promise to have me on your podcast sometime.
Will do.
Does that sound good? I don't know what I have to offer the next gen, but I'll offer it up. So this is for you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, and you taking some time to hang out today.
Will do.